Welcome to the Journey of a Thousand Mistakes. My name is Guillaume Sauvé, and as usual, I'm so happy that you're here. I always enjoy doing these videos. Okay, that's kind of a lie. I normally enjoy doing these videos, but on Monday, I did something that I kind of regret, and I know because I promised myself that I'd be always open, honest during these sessions, and that thing I did, I'm like, crap, now I'm gonna have to talk about it. And it's something I haven't told my family. I've only told a few friends, and it's not something I'm proud of. So yeah, we'll get to that later. For now, I'd like to do a quick review of the week, explain what I did, how it went. So for this week, the challenge was to track every minute of every day for the entire work week. And here's a quick overview of how I spend my time. Obviously, more on one. Obviously, I spent most of my time sleeping. 2,590 minutes. Sounds like a lot when you put it in minutes, but it's only about 8 hours of sleep per night, sometimes not even. For my evening and morning routine, I spend 272 minutes. Normally in the morning, I take about half an hour, 45 minutes to get ready. Same at night, so that's why it's a lot of time. Okay, I'm going to skip the next one because that's the thing I need to talk about later on that I'm kind of ashamed of, so we'll get to that later. I spent 112 minutes on the phone this week. Honestly, that's not usual. It's just that my mother called me this week, and honestly, she likes to talk a lot. It's not a bad thing. I always enjoy talking to her, but she just likes to talk, and that's fine. Also, my father was having issues with his computer, so I was talking him through it, so that took a while. So that's why it took 112 minutes of talking on the phone this week, even though I don't usually talk that much. All right, my growth, honestly, I did way more than I was expecting this week. A total of 944 minutes. Although, to be honest, I consider Toastmasters to be part of my growth because it helps me be a better presenter, interact with other people who have the same mindset as me. So like 6 hours of that time was for Toastmasters. The rest was reading books, watching podcasts, videos, courses, or even filming this. Recording these videos, podcasts, and writing the blog, everything of that, I consider to fall into growth because it helps me become a better version of myself and turn into the person I want to be. All right, moving on. I consider mostly myself to be a writer, so everything that has to do with that, whether it be writing, editing, or reading fiction, falls into that category. So this week I spent 1,208 minutes doing that. Honestly, it's not that much, but that's because I recently downgraded the amount of time I spend on that. Instead of spending 5-6 hours a day writing, I spend on average 1 to 2 hours a day of actual writing time. I usually try to get one chapter done, and then maybe 1 to 2 hours of editing, which is working on my last book, the one that's not published yet. So that's usually how it works. All right. Social. Honestly, not that much time, 207 minutes, but I wasn't really sure what to expect because I never tracked that time before. So I'm neither happy or disappointed. I'm not really sure what to make of this. But at least I spent 207 minutes. It's not like I was completely isolated because during the week, I mostly focused on myself, on my work, just staying in that positive mindset, being productive. So 207 minutes is actually pretty good. All right. I created a random category where everything else falls into that, such as eating, taking showers, stuff like that. Because I couldn't create a category for every single one because then I'd have 50 of them and it just become way too complicated. Honestly, for that category, it was just 267 minutes for 5 days, which isn't that much. And finally, after I tallied everything up, I realized, okay, there's some lost time in there, probably transition time between different activities. I failed to calculate, I don't know, but 469 minutes of that week were lost to poor tracking. So anyway, that's it. All right. Now comes the crappy time, for me at least. This is not easy to talk about, so I hope you can appreciate that I might stutter, stumble over my words, have a lack of emotion maybe because I tend to be introverted, so it's hard for me to talk about these really honest things. But I feel like it's about time that I finally talk about this. Because for the past, I don't know how long, 15 years, something like that, I've been addicted to pornography. I'll tell you, it used to be way worse than that. That was pretty much my main hobby for like my teenage years to maybe mid-20s, something like that. It's only for the past few years that I've slowly played that down, tried to become a better version of myself, slowly gotten rid of it. And I wouldn't say I'm addicted anymore, but it's still something I want to get rid of. And that's one of my goals for this year. Completely get rid of not my addictions, but my craving for pornography. Because honestly, there's nothing good about it. It wastes way too much of your time. You feel like crap at the end when you're done. And also, it completely changes your mindset. Because the vision portrayed in those types of videos, it's just not realistic. So you have a slightly, not slightly, completely altered vision of what real life is. And in comparison, real life can seem like a freaking letdown. Also, it makes your standards so much higher. So it makes approaching women, in my case, that much more intimidating because I'm only attracted to the most beautiful ones. And obviously, the more beautiful they are, the more intimidating it is. So because of that, I've barely had zero dating life in the past 15 years. And it's something I've been trying to work on. And it's really difficult. So that's definitely going to be one of my challenges. But I just wanted to talk about it this week because on Monday, I failed to plan my week properly last week. So on Monday, I was just exhausted. I couldn't work. So I just crashed and burned, decided to take the day off. And I spent 160 minutes of that time online, just wasting my time. Now, before I keep going, I'd just like to quickly explain. In case you don't have an addiction or you can't really understand what it's like, it's not the material itself that's addictive. It's that rush of adrenaline, of newness, because you jump from one video, one thing to the next, always looking for that better, perfect thing, but it just doesn't exist. And you waste your time. By the time you're finished, you just feel like crap. Anyway, this isn't really easy for me to talk, and honestly, I haven't told most people in my life. My family doesn't know. I've only told a few of my closest friends. And I feel like it's going to be kind of like when I told people that I wrote erotica. Because I used to write erotica for 5 years. It paid the bills. And honestly, for that longest time before I told them, I had that vision of how people would react, freak out. And just like it would ruin the relationship. But honestly, half the people I told already suspected it. The other half that didn't, either didn't care or completely refused to accept it. Like I told my father, he kind of just said oh yeah, okay. And I feel like it just went in one ear, out the other. I don't know. We just never talked about it. It was kind of awkward for a few minutes in the car. Anyway, so I feel this is kind of the same thing. And even though it sucks in the moment right now, I know that once I'm done this video, I'm going to feel so good, liberated. That's just like that weight has been lifted from my shoulders. At least I hope. We'll see. All right. So that basically covered that aspect, that failure that I did. And honestly, talking about it is already making me feel so much better. All right, moving on. I'd like to quickly go over this week's mistake. So the first mistake was obviously what we just talked about. On Monday, I spent way too much time watching porn, even though I know what the triggers were that led to that. And I know how I should stop them. It's whenever those triggers come up, I should realize it and be like, okay, that's a trigger. Do something else. Change the subject, change the topic, go for a walk, do anything just to distract myself, to overcome that one thing. Because I know that's like the first domino that falls and eventually leads to that end where you just feel like crap. And you're like, I wasted so much time doing this. Why did I do this? All right. Second mistake. Last week, I pushed myself way too hard. I barely took any time off during the weekend. And on Monday, I was completely exhausted, which is why I decided to take the day off, which is why I ended up watching porn. So I feel like I need at least one full day every week to just relax, not work, not have anything planned. Just take time for myself, recenter myself, plan the week ahead, just brainstorm what I want my life to be like, what I want the next week to be like. Just plan for the future, take care of myself, relax, read, watch TV. Just don't stress. So I feel like I'm going to need to do that and be more diligent with myself for when I plan my weekend. Sorry. All right. Fifth mistake overall. Third mistake for this week. On one of the days, I went to bed way too late. And honestly, obviously, the next morning, I was too tired to get up, which is my next mistake. So I'll kind of combine those two together and explain the solution to both because they're kind of similar. So in order to go to bed earlier, what I have to do is just 1 hour before bed, I stop whatever I'm doing and start doing my morning routine and just slowly wind the day down. So I could probably read, fill out my journal to revise the day, plan a little ahead for the next day, do some meditation, brush my teeth, do all that, just slowly wind down and then go to bed. By doing that, I feel like I'm being way more relaxed. I'm going to fall asleep way faster. Plus, I'm going to be less tired the next morning. So when my alarm clock goes off, instead of just tapping it and going back to sleep, I'm going to be able to tap it and get up. And that's kind of the solution for this one. For getting up when my alarm clock goes off. Yes, 1, go to bed earlier, but 2, just condition myself that when my alarm goes off, I turn it off and immediately get up. Because when it becomes a habit, that's when it becomes so much easier. It's not like, lying in bed debating, should I get up? Should I stay? Do I really need to work? Blah, 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 blah. It's just, no. The alarm goes off, you get up. That's it. It just makes things so much simpler. All right, so that about covers everything for this week. I encourage you, as usual, to join this journey. Take challenges of your own. And also, if you'd like to suggest a challenge, something you feel like I could do that would both force myself out of my comfort zone and allow me to grow, become a better person, please go to thejourneyof1000mistakes.com, fill out the contact form there and let me know. Because honestly, 52 weeks of challenges is a lot. And I have maybe a dozen on my list. And I feel like I'm eventually just going to run out and not know what to do. So please, if you have an idea, reach out, let me know. If you're watching the YouTube video, you can just comment on the video. I'll see that, take note of it. Last week, my roommate suggested that I get up at 6 o'clock every day for a week. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to try it, but instead of 6, it's going to be 5. Anyway, so I'm not going to do this challenge next week. Next week, honestly, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. We'll see later. As usual, if you want to watch the video, the YouTube channel, or the blog, depending on which way you want to consume this material, just go to my website. That's where you can find everything. Also, don't forget, reach out to me. If you do challenges, if you do these challenges, different ones, if you have breakthroughs, like the whole point of this is to improve myself, to improve yourself, just become better versions of ourselves. So don't hesitate to reach out. All right, so thank you so much for being here. I hope it wasn't too awkward. It felt really awkward for me opening up like that. But already I feel more relaxed and like the weight has been lifted from my shoulders because I was open and I did this. So thank you for being here, sharing this experience with me. And as usual, don't be afraid to go make mistakes. That's it. Don't be afraid. For so long, my fear controlled me. But doing these challenges, even though it's only been a month, I feel so good. All right, before I keep rambling on, thanks for being here. Go make mistakes. Go be awesome.